be seated. Before I start today, I'd like to say to my family, my classmates, this isn't a re-election speech, I made it. And I'd like to share with you someone told me that today the class 93 is graduating, but it's just not this class. It's the parents and the teachers graduating with us. I'm talking about the ones that have stuck behind us through all the years of tests, pains, joys, and triumphs. Even if they couldn't make it today, they'll be with us in our hearts forever. Thanks. But to my class, I'd like to say, high school is over. The final day is here. To use our knowledge and to lose our fear. We have been together through the leaps and falls, and with the strength of our friendship, we have broke through those walls. We've made each other laugh, we've made each other cry. Let's hold these memories close and never say goodbye. Sometimes I feel we're the ones to make history and let our dreams take flight and unfold life's mystery. And I remember all the outrageous things we've done, and I find that I wish I could stop the hands of time to relive them again, just to be with 93. This class will always be closest to my heart, no matter how far our lives take us apart. In our new lives, they're just beginning to start. And I realized life wasn't meant just to pass by, and the only thing we have to do is die. Our memories of yesterday will last a lifetime, so we'll take the best, forget the rest, and realize that these are the best of times. We don't need to wait for the future anymore, because the future is being made now. And with all our years of learning, it's time to show them how. And no matter how far I go, you'll know that closest to my heart will always be my beloved friends, the class of 93.
and I believe in who we are. Friend to friend, heart to heart, I'll always love you. Because you mean so much to me. Friend to friend, heart to heart, I'll always love you. You're the friend I'll always need. Heart to heart will always be.
It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you those members of the graduating class who have been recognized by area, state, and national organizations through the awarding of scholarships and awards. Before I begin, the Bellefontaine High School administration, faculty, staff, and senior class would like to take this opportunity to express their appreciation to the many clubs, organizations, and institutions, as well as individuals, who have worked so hard to make these awards possible. Their efforts certainly exhibit the pride and enthusiasm that the Bellefontaine community has in its school system. The awards, which were presented Tuesday at a special ceremony here at the high school, and that are being recognized today, represent a total of $52,650. To those members of the class, we would remind you to please stand as your name is called and remain standing until all of your information has been read. To the audience, we would ask that you please hold your applause until all have been read. Jera Kessler, Rachel Miller, Mitzi Sharp. The Bellefontaine City Board of Education academic scholarships, valued at $700 each, and presented by the Bellefontaine City Board of Education, presented to Jera Daniel Kessler, the son of Mr. and Mrs. John Kessler, who will be attending Wheaton College in Wheaton, Illinois. Rachel Beth Miller, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Russ Miller, who will be attending Goshen College in Goshen, Indiana. And Mitzi Ann Sharp, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Dennis Sharp, who will be attending the University of Southern California in Los Angeles, California. Jeremy Smith. The Bellefontaine City Board of Education Academic Effie Patterson Memorial Scholarship, valued at $1,500 and presented by the Bellefontaine City Board of Education. Presented to Jeremy Michael Smith, the son of R. Michael Smith and Gail Repp. Jeremy will be attending Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. Tanny Wildermuth. The Dr. Earl S. Sloan Incentive Scholarship, valued at $750 and presented by a special committee representing the Sloan Foundation, presented in 1993 to Tanya Lynn Wildermuth, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Wildermuth, who will be attending Bowling Green State University in Bowling Green, Ohio. Todd Fisher and Rachel Lang. The Susie Parker Memorial Scholarships, valued at $2,000 each and presented by the Logan County Library Board. Presented this year to Todd Tamawonderly Fisher, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Tom Fisher, who will be attending the University of Toledo in Toledo, Ohio, and Rachel Lang, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Frank Lang, who will be attending Marietta College in Marietta, Ohio. Jason Brown and Bill Lentz. The Harold Kerr Post number 173 of the American Legion Scholarships, valued at $1,000 each and presented by Post number 173 of the American Legion. Presented this year to Jason Michael Brown, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Michael Brown, who will be attending the Ohio State University in Columbus, and Robert William Lentz, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Lentz, who will be attending Ohio Northern University at Ada, Ohio. Tanya Porter. The Bellefontaine High School Substance Abuse Awareness Scholarship, valued at $1,000 and presented by a special committee, awarded this year to Tanya Courtney Porter, the daughter of Mrs. Karen Porter and Mr. Steve Porter, who will be attending Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee. Mary Kirstein. The J.C. Scholarship Award, valued at $1,000 and presented by a committee of the J.C.'s, presented this year to Mary Elizabeth Kirstein, the granddaughter of Mr. and Mrs. Carl Kirstein, who will be attending Columbus State Community College in Columbus, Ohio. Rachel Lang. The Nancy J. Merrilees Memorial Scholarship, valued at $200 and presented by a special committee of the Presbyterian Church, presented this year to Rachel Lang, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Frank Lang, who will be attending Marietta College in Marietta, Ohio. Tina Berger. The Noble McFarland Memorial Scholarship, valued at $1,000 and presented by a special committee to Tina Nicole Berger, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Stanley Berger, who will be attending Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. Jason Brown and Melinda Ewing. The Paula Kunter Educational Scholarship Awards, valued at $1,000 each and presented by the Bellefontaine Education Association, presented this year to Jason Michael Brown, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Michael Brown, who will be attending Ohio State University in Columbus, and Melinda G. Ewing, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Tim Ewing, who will be attending Columbus State Community College in Columbus, Ohio. Jennifer Carter and Jara Kessler. The Eleanor Morris Columbus Foundation Scholarships, valued at $1,000 each year for a total of $4,000 each, and presented by a committee of the Eleanor Morris Foundation to Jennifer Lynn Carter, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Kemp Carter, who will be attending Anderson University in Anderson, Indiana, and Jara Daniel Kessler, the son of Mr. and Mrs. John Kessler, who will be attending Wheaton College in Wheaton, Illinois. Jim Jones. The Bellefontaine High School Athletic Boosters Jim Stolley Memorial Scholarship, valued at $1,000 and presented by the Athletic Boosters to James F. Jones, the son of Mr. James Jones, who will be attending Bluffton College in Bluffton, Ohio. Jim Hughes. The Don Harris Memorial Music Scholarship, valued at $500 and presented by the Bellefontaine Music Parents and Friends Association in 1993, presented to James Edward Hughes, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Don Hughes, who will be attending Bowling Green State University in Bowling Green, Ohio. Hodge Hager and Brandy Kennedy. The Fraternal Order of Police No. 60 Scholarships, valued at $1,000 each and presented by the Bellefontaine Fraternal Order of Police, presented this year to Hodge Andrew Hager, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Roger Hager, who will be attending Bowling Green State University in Bowling Green, Ohio, and Brandy Diane Kennedy, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Brian Kennedy, who will be attending the Ohio State University at Lima, Ohio. Lena Inskeep. The Robert L. and Helen E. Ginn Memorial Scholarship, valued at $600 and presented by a special committee to Lena Louise Inskeep, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Lowell Inskeep, who will be attending Clark State Community College in Springfield, Ohio. Matt Fifield. The A.E. Knowlton Foundation Scholarship, valued at $1,000 and presented by a special committee to Matthew Michael Fifield, the son of Mr. and Mrs. David Bishop and Mr. and Mrs. Michael Fifield, who will be attending The Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. Bill Lentz. The Logan County Youth Center Award, valued at $500 and presented by a special committee representing the Youth Center Board, presented this year to Robert William Lentz, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Lentz, who will be attending The Ohio Northern University at Ada, Ohio. Christy Murphy. The Frank Castle Post 1080 of the Veterans of Foreign Wars Scholarship, valued at $750 and presented by a committee of the Post 1080 to Christy L. Murphy, the daughter of Alan and Sandy Murphy, She will be attending the Ohio High Point School of Practical Nursing in Bellefontaine, Ohio. Jason Price. The C.E. Knowlton Memorial Scholarship, valued at $500 and presented by a special committee to Jason Price, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Brian Price, and Jason will be attending the Technical Education Center in Columbus, Ohio. Tom Moreland. The Bellefontaine Rotary Club General Scholarship, valued at $1,000 and presented by a committee of the Bellefontaine Rotary Club to Thomas David Moreland, the son of Reverend and Mrs. David Moreland, who will be attending Valparaiso University in Valparaiso, Indiana. Ryan Lane. The A. Crux Investigation Frank Robinaugh Memorial Scholarship, valued at $1,000 and presented by a special committee representing the fund to Ryan J. Lane, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Dennis Lane, who will be attending the Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. Jake Schrader. The Bellefontaine AMVETS number 105 Scholarship, valued at $1,000 and presented by a committee of the AMVETS Lodge to Jacob Nelson Schrader, the son of Mrs. Sue Schrader, who will be attending Hocking Technical College in Nelsonville, Ohio. Debbie Winter. The Kiwanis Club of Bellefontaine Scholarship Award, valued at $750 and selected by a committee of the Kiwanis Club, going in 1993 to Deborah Lynn Winter, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Allen Winter, who will be attending Columbus State Community College in Columbus, Ohio. Heather Ward. The Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks Memorial Scholarship, valued at $1,000 and presented by a committee of Elks Lodge number 132, this year presented to Heather Dawn Ward, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. William Ward, who will be attending the University of Toledo in Toledo, Ohio. Candy Hitt. The John Valenga Bellefontaine Benevolent and Protective Order number 132 of the Elks Memorial Scholarship, valued at $500 and selected by a special committee of the Elks Lodge number 132, presented this year to Candace Jolene Hitt, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Gary Hitt, who will be attending Kent State University in Kent, Ohio. Mary Kirstein. The Stieg Froman Memorial Scholarship, valued at $1,000 and selected by a special committee representing the endowment, presented this year to Mary Elizabeth Kirstein, the granddaughter of Mr. and Mrs. Carl Kirstein, who will be attending Columbus State Community College in Columbus, Ohio. Debbie Winter. The T.P. Lanes Men's Bowling Association Scholarship, valued at $500 and selected by a committee of the Bowling Association to Deborah Lynn Winter, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Allen Winter, who will be attending Columbus State Community College in Columbus, Ohio. Christina Legg. The William C. Ellis Logan County Metropolitan Housing Authority Scholarship, valued at $500 and presented to us by a special committee to Christina Louise Legg, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Kevin Brown, who will be attending Berea College in Berea, Kentucky. Tina Householder. The Exchange Club Scholarship, valued at $1,000 and selected by a committee representing the Exchange Club, presented in 1993 to Tina Marie Householder, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Michael Householder, who will be attending the University of Dayton in Dayton, Ohio. Candy Hitt. The James Stoller Memorial Scholarship, valued at $200 and selected by a special committee, going to Candace Jolene Hitt, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Gary Hitt, who will be attending Kent State University in Kent, Ohio. Tanny Wildermuth. The Ohio Association of Public School Employees Scholarship, valued at $300 and presented by a committee of the OPSI Association, this year to Tanya Lynn Wildermuth, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Wildermuth, who will be attending the Bowling Green State University in Bowling Green, Ohio. Marika Varian and Tom Weichert. The Bellefontaine Firefighters Scholarships, valued at $500 each, and presented by the Bellefontaine Firefighters Association to Marika DeRay Varian, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Charles Varian, who will be attending Lima Technical College in Lima, Ohio, and Thomas G. Weichert, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Tom Weichert, who will be attending the Hocking Technical College in Nelsonville, Ohio. Candy Hitt. The Logan County Cooperative Power and Light Association Scholarship, valued at $500 and chosen by a committee of the association, presented this year to Candace Jolene Hitt, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Gary Hitt, who will be attending Kent State University in Kent, Ohio. Now these out-of-county awarded scholarships, and there are 3, Jeremy Smith and Rachel Miller. The first is the Ohio Merit Ohio Board of Regents Scholarship, valued at $1,000 each year for a total of $4,000, and presented by the Ohio Board of Regents this year for outstanding achievement to Jeremy Michael Smith, the son of R. Michael Smith and Gail Repp, who will be attending Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. Secondly, the Robert C. Byrd U.S. Senate Scholarship, valued at $1,500 each year for a total of $6,000, and presented by the U.S. Senate this year to Rachel Beth Miller, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Russ Miller, who will be attending Goshen College, Goshen, Indiana. And thirdly, the National Merit Scholarship, valued at $2,000 and presented by the National Merit Scholarship Corporation for outstanding scholastic achievement to Rachel Beth Miller, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Russ Miller, who will be attending Goshen College in Goshen, Indiana. Could we at this time recognize all of those scholarship recipients? Thank you. Additionally, I have 4 other awards to announce. The non-monetary Harold Kerr Post of the American Legion Award winners, awards based on leadership, the ability to get along, creativity, and the skillfulness in the art of diplomacy. Those senior students who were selected and named last Tuesday, we'd like to have them stand at this time, are Jennifer Lynn Carter, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Kemp Carter, and Ryan J. Lane, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Dennis Lane. May we recognize those 2 outstanding seniors. Additionally, the Harold Kerr Post provides awards for members of the freshman class. Those awards, too, are voted on by members of the class, and those 2 recipients, I hope, are in the audience today. They do not know that they are the winners, so we would ask that they please come to the stage at this time. Kenya Lynn Purnell, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Dan Purnell, and Jeremy Lee Stanford, the son of Mr. Ronald Stanford and Mrs. Pat Denlinger.
I am very pleased at this time to present to you the top 10 students of the class of 1993. These students have worked very hard during the last 4 years to attain a high degree of academic excellence. They are to be commended for their persistence of such an important goal. You as parents are to be commended for your constant efforts in instilling scholarship into the lives of these fine young adults. We at Bellefontaine High School are very proud of these young people and the contributions they make to our school and our community. Ladies and gentlemen, the top 10 students of the class of 1993, you are asked to please hold your applause until all have received their certificates. 10th in the class, Jennifer Renee Kobe, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Kobe. 9th in the class, Thomas David Moreland, son of Reverend and Mrs. David Moreland. 8th in the class, Mitzi Ann Sharp, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Dennis Sharp. Seventh in the class, Todd Tama Wonderly Fisher, son of Mr. and Mrs. Tom Fisher. It is my great pleasure to honor the 1993 class valedictorians. These students all held, through their 4 years of high school, a perfect 4-point grade point average. Tina Nicole Berger, Jennifer Lynn Carter, Jarrett Daniel Kessler, Rachel Beth Miller, Tanya Courtney Porter, Jeremy Michael Smith. Honored graduates, platform guests, faculty, parents, family, and friends. A number of years ago, we started a program honoring a distinguished graduate of Bellefontaine High School as our commencement speaker. And today is just the case. Linda G. Stuntz, Linda Gillespie Stuntz, a native of this city, and 1972 graduate of Bellefontaine High School, will speak to the class today. Ms. Stuntz has made significant achievements since leaving Bellefontaine. She graduated in 1976 from Wittenberg University and from Harvard Law School in 1979. Her first professional assignment was the practice of energy regulatory and legislative law with the prestigious Washington, D.C. firm of Jones, Day, Rivas, and Pogue. From there, she went on to serve as an associate minority counsel to a subcommittee on fossil and synthetic fuels of the Committee on Energy and Commerce with the U.S. House of Representatives. She became minority counsel and staff director to the committee in 1986. Later, Ms. Stuntz held a number of positions at the Department of Energy, including acting Assistant Secretary for Domestic and International Energy Policy, Deputy Secretary Undersecretary for Policy, Planning and Analysis, and Assistant Acting Secretary for Fossil Energy. On April 20th, 1992, President George Bush nominated Mrs. Stuntz to be the Deputy Secretary in the Department of Energy under his administration. As the Deputy, Mrs. Stuntz was second-ranking official in the Department of Energy, which employs 170,000 federal and contractor personnel and has an annual budget of $20 million. She participated in the department's key policy decisions and played a regular role in its relations with Congress. Ms. Stuntz has received many recognitions for our outstanding contributions to the area of energy. Recently, she was honored by the National Resources Organization with its 1993 Distinguished Service Award.
Mrs. Stunt's the daughter of Mrs. Fred Taylor and the late Joseph Gillespie. Resides in Alexandria, Virginia with her husband Reed and their 2 children. Linda, it is with great pride we welcome you back to Bellefontaine High School and to hear your comments today.
Thank you and congratulations, graduates, and you and their families who have supported them and made this time possible. As you might expect from that background, I have made a number of speeches over the past few years to audiences all around this great country of ours. But this one was tough for 2 principal reasons. First, having in my household now only an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, another late 30-something, in his case a really late 30-something, I had little or no idea what 18-year-olds are really thinking about these days. What do you care about? What are you worried about? And I have to confess right here that I don't think I've ever felt so old as when I realized that none of you were even born when I graduated from this field about 21 years ago today. Now, one friend suggested that I spend some time watching MTV and talk to you perhaps in terms of some lyrics from some of the songs that are popular these days. Another suggested that whatever I say should be short and funny, and I suspect you all would agree with that. In the end, I decided to do what I have always done and what's always worked for me, and that is to be straight with you, not to pretend that I have any clue about what arrested development is, other than some kind of a medical condition. To do otherwise, I don't think would fool you for long, and I don't think it would show you proper respect. Being myself brought me face to face with my second problem, which is that despite my advanced age, there are still people here who know me and all my imperfections as they were expressed in my time here. They must be really old, I know, but 2 of them are right behind me. I won't bore you with my misdeeds now, but let me just say that Mr. Caldwell and Mr. Horn could write a bio for me that likely would surprise a number of folks in New York and Houston and Washington and Wichita, and people that know me mostly as an adult, at least mostly. To those of you who are valedictorians, I want to congratulate you, and to the rest of you who make up the top 10, I congratulate you for your hard work and for your achievement. You have earned an honor that I did not, and in doing so, you've earned yourself tremendous opportunities that are well deserved. But whether you are number 1 or number 180, I want to tell you today that each of you has within yourself the chance to succeed and the ability to make a most positive difference in this needy world of ours. Not all of you will be lawyers, thank goodness, or doctors or engineers, and that is fine. That is necessary, as a matter of fact. The point is that each of you can succeed if you will do just 2 things. First, do what you truly enjoy doing, what you have a passion for, whether that's fixing cars or taking care of children or minding somebody's teeth. Second, you must treat your fellow men and women and the world that we are privileged to share for a brief time with respect and with care. Satisfying only yourself will in the end leave you unsatisfied. True satisfaction comes from helping others. Let me turn to the first element of success, the work part. Now, some of you may already have figured out what your life's work will be. If not, don't worry. There is a lot of time for you to learn what it is that inspires you. The key is to be open to new possibilities, to be willing to take some risks. There will be false starts, there will be disappointments, and there will be failures for each of you. But these are necessary elements of living and of learning. I have a friend, another woman who happens to be from Ohio, who told me just this weekend that she originally enrolled in nursing school. She was interested in a health-related career and felt pressure to do something that would lead to a job. Her family was sort of saying, do something that you can get a job after you graduate. It seemed to be the right thing to do. Well, after 6 months, she hated it. She decided that what she really wanted to do was get into the business end of health, and so she became ultimately a master's in health administration. She's now in the middle of the debate in Washington about health care reform in this country, and she loves it, not only because it's work that she enjoys, but because she thinks she's helping others, among those hemophiliacs that she represents in trying to obtain justice. In my own case, I went to college as a pre-med major. Somewhere between advanced calculus and organic chemistry, I realized that despite Mr. Horn's best efforts, I was not cut out to be a scientist or a doctor. Later, as a young lawyer in a fine firm, well embarked on a career that would lead me to great monetary success, I was given the opportunity to join the staff of a congressional committee. I couldn't justify this as making sense in terms of a straight career path in the law, but I thought that it would be fun and might even be exciting. Uncertain what to do, I had the good fortune to ask one of the most senior partners at the law firm, a gentleman named Erwin Griswold. Among other things, he was a Solicitor General of the United States and Dean of the Harvard Law School. He also happens to come from Ohio. I will never forget what he told me. He said, "Fun is a perfectly good reason for trying something new in your career. I have had fun in the practice of law all my life. If you were a widow trying to raise 2 children, I would tell you something different. But as it is, if this is something you want to do, I think that you should try it." And this from a man who at that time was in his 80s and who has argued more cases before the United States Supreme Court than any man alive or dead, save Daniel Webster. Now, having known many people in my life who were making a great deal of money but were totally miserable, I am convinced that meaningful success can only come if you are doing something you truly enjoy. Let me now turn to the second element of success, making a difference in the lives of others. It does not take an advanced degree or a great deal of money to be courteous, to help someone in need, to be patient with a child, to help ease the loneliness of a senior citizen who is feeling forgotten. And yet we as a society are doing a lousy job at these basics. Let's face it, the papers are full of stories of abused children, elderly men and women living in conditions not fit for animals, homeless people, and intolerance of all kinds. A colleague of mine, a black man who is general counsel of a large university here in the Midwest that some of you will be attending, recently told me, "Linda, race relations are worse right now than they have ever been, even than they were when I was a student at this college in the 40s. You walk into any dormitory or cafeteria, and you see the blacks sitting together and the whites sitting together and so much tension in between, just as if segregation were still the law of the land." His words shocked and saddened me, because that wasn't the way I remembered things here, and it wasn't the way I remembered things in my college. Now, it's understandable that in the face of these problems, you might wish to duck. You might wish to say, "I'm only one person. What can I do about all this?" But you, of all people, must not give in to that temptation. Why you, of all people? Well, you may think that Bellefontaine is just a small town in the middle of nowhere that you can hardly wait to see in your rearview mirror. I will let you in on a secret. You are neither the first nor undoubtedly the last graduates to feel that way. That you should want to see the world is perfectly normal. It's also very valuable, because it's only in leaving and looking back that you will appreciate what you have been given here. A root system that will help sustain you through the storms of life that will surely come your way. An inner compass that will enable you to find your way when others are lost. With this support system, which I can best describe to you as a sense of belonging, a place that you're from, you have the capacity to help others who tragically have never known a home or a real community and don't even know what you're talking about when you say that to them. And let me tell you, there are far more of them than you could imagine. A long time ago, Ralph Waldo Emerson captured the essence of success this way: to laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a little better place than we found it, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know even one life breathed easier because you lived. This is to have succeeded. Someday, sooner than you think, you will be looking in a mirror one morning as you brush your teeth, and it will hit you that, statistically, more than half of your life is through. Or, a dear friend will die, and it will suddenly hit you that death is not an if thing, if I die, but a when thing, when I die. If you are doing what you enjoy, and you have tried to reach out and help others, that moment of truth will produce in you not panic or desperation, but pride in what you have accomplished, and perhaps an even firmer resolve to do more, to do better, and to help others more. and for a renewed commitment to succeed in the ways that matter. It's been my privilege to address you. Congratulations to all of you, and good luck.
Thank you, Mrs. Stuntz, for those words to live by. They mean a lot to me. Being a little older than she is, she speaks true words that I hope you will remember for at least a day or two and look back on in 20 years when you come back for your reunion and see these faces and how they've changed and see the places you've been and the things you've done. And you'll remember that this is where it started. Bellefontaine, Ohio, has been supplying you with support for many years. Your parents especially, your teachers, the administrators of our school district. We have all put many hours, happy hours, and sad hours into your development. And we as a board hope that we have helped provide you with the foundation that you will need to go anywhere, because we feel you have been given the chance that everyone in this country deserves and that you can build on. We're here today to celebrate, and I eagerly await the chance to congratulate each one of you for this first hurdle you have attained in life. You've all made it. The easy times and the hard times are behind you in school. I hope that you have enjoyed them and that you look forward to your life here, either here in Bellefontaine or in Logan County or in the state of Ohio or anywhere in the world. For we have graduates all over this world at any given time, and we hope that you will enjoy your time with us on earth. Thank you.
I would like to thank the many members of the high school staff for their fine assistance in making the many needed preparations for this ceremony. As principal of Bellefontaine High School, I am tremendously proud to present to educators, attending, the community, parents, guests, and to the Board of Education, the senior students ready to receive their commencement diplomas. I hereby certify that they have completed their academic requirements and in that area have met all local and state standards. This diploma represents not a 4-year achievement of secondary education. Rather, it signifies completion of at least 12 years of formal schooling provided by the citizens of this community. This accomplishment by these young men and women honors not only themselves, but also their teachers, the community, and most definitely their parents. Many of these graduating seniors have already earned significant achievements and have contributed in a very positive manner to our society. Today represents a major milestone in the lives of these graduates. From this point, and with this foundation, they proceed to their destinies. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the 1993 graduates of Bellefontaine High School. They deserve your applause. Will the members of the class of 1993 prepare to receive your diplomas? In order that all names can be heard and that all graduates can receive their diplomas with dignity and with equity, it is requested that the audience refrain from applause until all seniors have been presented their diplomas. Aaron Matthew Christopher Ward. Tina Nicole Berger. Jennifer Lynn Carter. Jera Daniel Kessler. Rachel Beth Miller.
Tanya Courtney Porter. Jeremy Michael Smith. Beverly Joe Abbott. Jonathan L. Adams. Paul Christopher Aldo. Brad Armentrout. Catherine Lee Arnold. Lisa Ann Osmond. D.J. Baldwin. Philip Carl Ball, Jr. Kimberly Ann Bayless. Ryan L. Beatty. Amy E. Bell. Casey Lynn Breston. Sean M. Breston. Carrie Lee Brinkman. Jason Michael Brown. David Michael Brugler. William P. Burton. Julie Ann Bush. Randolph L. Carpenter, Jr. Keith A. Casto. Amy Jo Clifton. Teresa Ann Koninger. Jennifer Renee Kobe. Jason Scott Coyle. Chris Edward Koppler, Jr. Michael D. Cox. Stacy Lynn Cox. Jill Renee Davis. R. Ethan Davis. Stacy Dodds. Gary L. Dolan II. Joshua Downing. Krista Renee Downing. Angel Lynn Durant. John Charles Weber Elkins. Joshua Andrew Engel. Sean Eugene Escamilla. Melinda G. Ewing. Sydney L. Faber. Tim Fiesel. Matthew Mark Michael Fifield. Todd Tama Wonderly Fisher. David M. Fullerton. Tress Deanne Gardner. Matt Guerin. Brandeis Zoe Anna Geiter. Hodge Andrew Hager. Angela Sally Harshbarger. David Michael Hastings. Jason D. Hawley. Marqua Hemmer. Candace Jolene Hitt. Michael Lee Hogue.
Jessica Lee Holliday, David J. Holycross, Michael Horn, Jason Houchin, Tina Marie Householder, Ronald G. Hauser, Edward Dean Huffman II, Matt Huffman, James Edward Hughes, Leonard Kenneth Hughes, Lance A. Humble, Ryan James Hunsiker, Lena Louise Inskip, Robert E. Irwin, Takahiro Ito, Joseph Heath Jackson, Jennifer M. Jacobs, Jody Kathleen Jenkins, Rebecca Ann Jenkins, James F. Jones, Brian Douglas Joseph, Norman Edward Judd, Katarina Young, Billy Keller, Brandy Diane Kennedy, Mary Elizabeth Kirstein, Christina M. Crable, Alan Landon, Ryan J. Lane, Rachel Lang, Napoleon Devon Lattimore, Holly Lacrone, Christina Louise Legg, Shannon Lee Legg, Robert William Lentz, Timothy Matthew Lyle, Brad E. Lillard, Blake Daniel Lorette, Anthony Lee Longbreak, Bradford Libertus, Francescus Libertus, Mark A. Megan, Johnny Mac Malott, Misty D. Martin, Michelle Lorraine Massey, Megan McDonald, Jennifer A. Miller, Donald E. Mitchell II, Thomas David Moreland, Holly Renee Morgan, Mindy Jean Munns, Donna Mae Murdoch, Christy L. Murphy, Corella L. Nevers, Gregory W. Newkirk, Joy Nicholson, Clay Noble. Walter Scott Hayes O'Reilly. Steve A. Oppie. Anthony D. Organ. Jason Organ. Michelle Lynn Patterson. Joseph D. Phillips. Robin Lynn Poole. Sean Thomas Porter. Connie Lucille Predmore. Victoria Queen. Matthew Radcliffe. Jared Michael Rammel. Kendra Diane Reams. Dustin D. Rhodes. Jeff Roberts. Patricia Janelle Roberts. Steve Michael Roberts. Angel Perez Rodriguez. Jennifer Marie Rubel. L. Dawn Ryan. Anne Marie Salyer. Dwight Prentice Salyer. Christopher W. Sheffley. Jacob Nelson Schrader. Debbie Danielle Shamlin. Mitzi Ann Sharp. Laurie Ann Shaw. Timothy Shaw. Yelena Simic. Dawn Lynn Smith. Richard Smith. Mary Emma Smucker. Jason M. Staley. Jody Renee Stokes. Dawn Stover. Patrick J. Terhall. Annalise Margaret Totola. Michelle Lynn Turner. Scott Van Hoos. Marika DeRay Varian. Clifford Allen Wall. Eric T. Wapplehorst. Heather Dawn Ward. John T. Watkins. Jeffrey L. Webb. Thomas G. Weichert Jr. James Weimer. Tanya Renee Wilcox. Joshua Chad Wilcoxon. Tanya Lynn Wildermuth. Deborah Lynn Winter. Troy D. Wren. Dan Yoder. Deborah Jane Yoder. Brandy Lynn Zediker. the graduates of 1993 please rise? Seniors, you may turn your tassels. Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly present the Bellefontaine High School's most recent alumni. Please be seated.
Graduates of the class of 1993, congratulations. Mr. Harris was very gracious in the development of this program today to give me an opportunity to make a few closing remarks, and believe me, it'll be very brief. This is my 15th commencement program as superintendent of schools of Bellefontaine City School District. And this one, of course, will remain long in my memory, for it marks the last one of my professional career. The very first person to graduate 15 years ago under my superintendency was Darrell Wesley Abraham. Of course, the last person to receive the diploma today was Brandy. In between, over 3,000 young men and women have graduated and gone on to serve our community, our state, and nation in many ways. And of course, you're about to join them. I want to send you into this world with one last instruction. I want you to keep your head high. That is, be proud of your heritage. Be proud of your upbringing. Be confident in yourself. Be concerned about who you are. Keep your eyes open. Look for opportunity. See the world and the people in it. Enjoy the life that you see around you. Keep your feet on the ground. That is, wear the mantle of humility and humbleness well. Display common sense. Share it and show it. Hold your arms out. Keep your hands open. That is, give a helping hand. Share yourself with others. Help those less fortunate than you. Keep your mind hungry. Be a learner. Always thirst for knowledge. Seek new information, new ideas, new ways of doing old things. Be a lifelong learner. And keep your heart warm. Be sharing with your love. Be kind and generous. Be warm and giving. At every commencement, I always use a quote from John Gardner, a contemporary philosopher. I've always loved and enjoyed it, and I want to share it with you today. He said, "I suppose I should wish you success, but that's really too easy. I would like to wish you something that is harder to come by. So I'm going to wish you meaning in your life. And meaning is not something you stumble across, like the answer to a riddle or the prize in a treasure hunt. Meaning is something you build into your life. And so I pray for you. May God bless you and keep you safe. May God help you gain understanding and meaning in your life. May God be with you now and forevermore. Go in peace." Thank you.
Will the graduates prepare for the recessional? Please rise.
This is WBCS, Bellefontaine City Schools.